A 5-year-old boy living in Western Sydney faces indefinite separation from his father because of a negative security assessment from ASIO. The father is among dozens of refugees who are stuck in a no-man's land of detention after adverse security findings. He has no right of appeal and can't even find out why ASIO considers him a security risk. He does not want to be named publicly because he fears relatives in Sri Lanka might be targeted. The situation is causing immense stress on his family here, in particular his 5-year-old son, as Steve Cannane reports.
When Lateline first met Sati, it was his third day out of immigration detention. And his third day separated from his father, who'd been given a negative security assessment by ASIO. Now, over a year later, he started school and is adapting to life outside. But Sati's father is still stuck in Villawood Detention Centre with no prospect of release.
When he and his mother were first released, she told him his father had to stay there and work, but it's been 14 months now. He knows that his father's not allowed to leave Villawood. He knows he can't come home, but he really has no idea why. He doesn't understand.
Okay, that's a good boy.
Once a week, Alison Sloan takes Sati to visit his father.
Run!
Okay. What are you running for?
I want to see my father.
She says the separation is having a devastating impact.
Well, he's very stressed. He's depressed. That's not just me. He has regular psychological assessments. As a result of that, he has nightmares. He calls out for his father. He doesn't like to be alone, and he doesn't like his mother or anyone else in his circle out of his sight for too long.
Sati's father is one of 46 asylum seekers in detention who have been found to be refugees but can't be released because of negative security assessments by ASIO. Under the Refugee Convention, they cannot be sent home. They face indefinite detention with no right of appeal.
At a historic point during the Cold War years, when fevers were high, there was a law passed that meant that ASIO could determine somebody could never be given a visa. And under the law, they're not required to give the person any reasons.
When Allan was Commonwealth Ombudsman, he raised concerns about ASIO's processes with its Director General.
There's no review available. You can't go to court, and ASIO aren't even required to look again over time to see if the basis of their decision was wrong. And so it's judge, jury and executioner.
In November last year, the Director General of ASIO told a parliamentary committee he would not give reasons for the decisions ASIO makes. He wouldn't even give the criteria for those decisions.
Once the criteria for making assessments are known, then you will find very quickly that all the applicants will have methods of evading or avoiding demonstrating those characteristics.
That smacks of J. Edgar Hoover and the worst days of the FBI. Australians should be repelled by that sort of extreme, almost paranoid view.
But David Irvine argues ASIO is protecting Australia against terrorism.
But here, the relevant one is the issue of, particularly relevant one is an issue of politically motivated violence, which of course carries contains with it the whole question of terrorism.
It's likely that ASIO found links between Sati's father and the Tamil Tigers. The LTTE, as they're also known, fought a long and bloody civil war with the Sri Lankan military that ended in 2009. The LTTE has not committed terrorist attacks in Australia, and while other countries have prescribed them as a terrorist organisation, Australia has not. The majority of the 46 refugees in detention because of negative ASIO assessments are of Tamil origin. In March, the Joint Parliamentary Committee on Australia's Immigration Detention Network recommended there be a right to appeal these decisions. The Attorney-General is yet to respond to the recommendation. The Minister for Immigration is travelling and was unavailable for interview. When Green Senator Sarah Hanson-Young wrote to Chris Bowen asking him to release Sati's father, the The minister replied,
"It is the government's view that it is not appropriate for individuals with adverse security assessments to live in the community. Therefore, I am not minded to consider the exercise of my public interest intervention powers."
But none of this makes sense to a 5-year-old boy who's been separated from his dad.
He goes through the goodbye process with his father, and then there is a guard at the gate who, checks your wristband and whatever to check you out, and Sarti will look at him and say, "I'm going to take my father home now." Cracks me up. Every time I could just sit down and cry for him. I just want to grab them both and run out of there with them. It's just so unfair to do that to a child.
Steve Cannane, Late Line.